Hello, Mr. Miller. Right on time.
Yes, can I have your sandwich? Okay.
I don't know why you want to talk to me, but I've been told I have to accommodate you.
Because you're a suspicious
I
little
hope you have something
dipshit.
interesting to ask.
I like her though, I think she's awesome.
This is Miss Allison Whitworth.
Alison, not
I'll be
Alicia.
translating for you if you have any questions for her. Shall we just get on with it?
Right, let's see. Where's Charles Bowman's rule in all this?
What's Bowman's role in all of this? Or what's Bowman like as a person? That's what you really want to ask, right? Well, I'm not going to get into details, but he's basically the commander-in-chief. If it wasn't for him, none of this would be happening. All of the software, all of the Union Ag promotion, it all starts here. Charles Bowman created all of it.
Charles Bowman, complete dickhead. I thought Michael Carson starred. This is the name of the title.
Well, yeah, sure, but I don't want to talk about that. After. Well, he died in the explosion. I'm sure you know all of this. But Bowman was the one who really held it all together. His company's grown exponentially since he took over, and we're all grateful.
You knew Michael well?
Well, enough not to want to tarnish his memory, Mr. Miller. Next question.
Fucking. Do you like the way the company's run now?
I do. I'm basically second in command now, so I have a lot of responsibilities. The company has a more singular set of goals now, and I'm happy to be a part of that.
Uh-huh. So you share Charles Bowman's views?
About the company? Sure.
What about his racism?
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't, would I?
See, present evidence. I have to ask then, do you consider yourself racist?
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What the hell are you talking about? That's an extraordinarily offensive thing to ask. Not to mention out of left field. Nobody here is a racist.
Uh-huh.
Where the hell did you get off asking something like that?
I heard Charles Bowman confirm it in interview tape.
Well, that's the first I've heard of it. But if that's what he said, then he spared us from having to hear it. Until now, anyway. I feel you can guess my stance on the matter. Out
You're
of
just
interest,
racist as well.
who's made that accusation?
Everyone. Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't or won't?
Does that move or anything?
You know what? I actually do want to find out the answer to that.
Well, that's the first honest thing I can believe you saying. Heard anything about... certain? Hang on, did you hear someone say I was racist? I think that's what he's saying. What did she say?
I'm not comfortable continuing this line of questioning, Mr. Miller.
Ooh. I'm sorry, I thought Charles Bowman would have told you.
Well, I'm sure he's got a very good reason for keeping it to himself. The company's policies are complex.
The company's policies are racist.
You're writing this for your book or report or whatever, right?
Both.
Well, I want this part of the meeting stricken from the record, please.
No can do. I'll see what I can do. As in, fuck off.
About the explosion? Well, pretty much what everyone else knows about it. I don't really know what you want me to say. You must know everything that I do.
What were you? Where were you when it happened?
I was having a smoke in the courtyard. Luckily, I wasn't close enough to the blast, but I saw the whole thing.
Okay, where was Alice with?
Probably in her office.
Could you ask, please?
Room 105. Anything else, Mr. Miller?
What happened in the day after the attack?
Well, nothing. We weren't allowed back into the premises for over a week. Even then, only a handful of us were here to make sure things carried on running. The police were still here, and a detective was snooping around. I couldn't do anything without someone watching over me, or telling me to log what I was doing. Whatever they found, they didn't share it with me. I read it in the paper like everyone else.
I think caused the explosion.
Some kind of bomb, I guess, on the gas lines. At least that's what the news said. We have a report of the official findings downstairs somewhere.
Does that no?
Don't you believe me?
No. Could you just ask, please?
Yeah, basically the gas line.
She said rather more than that, Mr. Crow.
She says he wrote some kind of code that overheated the servers, she thinks. He was a talented coder, much as I hate to admit it. He found out that the servers were close to a gas line that came from an external propane store and, well, you know the rest.
Said evidence. Like the boys didn't overheat servers.
What? Where did you get that? I thought the police had taken all of the archive data for their investigation.
Clearly not.
So, the servers had been overheating for almost a year.
Yep.
How was this a thing without me knowing about it?
Well, it was reported. It was actually the boy's server and his responsibility.
Right. So, couldn't he have been making them overheat for nearly a year? Isn't that the same thing?
No.
He wrote some bad code and waited it out.
What,
I don't
for a
see
year?
how that's any different. Either way, Alex found a way to blow up the servers and get vengeance for his family.
Yeah, no motive a year ago. His family were fine then.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
see your point. So
It's an incredible
then
4D chess
maybe
there. Or beyond 4D chess, in fact.
I can't wrap my head around this. I know Alex did it, so this
Really?
must be some kind of... I don't know.
But you want to believe Alex Boys did it.
A moment ago, you were probably wondering if I did it, weren't you? Look, I can't talk for anyone else, but I don't know what to say. This changes a few things. Are you just trying to catch me out? Or do you actually care about this, Mr. Miller?
Tell us what you're thinking for. See, what is Silhouette?
It's a piece of software. We call it Digital Shadow Casting. DSC for short. Silhouette is its working title. Sorry, I know not everybody talks nerd, but do you understand technology, or you want me to elaborate a little?
It should be great.
Sure. It installs a background OS that copies any and all information used on a computer.
That comes off
After a
as
certain
really
amount of data
shitty
is
to me.
gathered or After a certain time, the data is packaged and sent to the Silhouette server in the basement, where we collate and serialize the data however we'd like. We have an algorithm that can highlight pertinent tagged matches: commerce, economics, political values, home living, etc. We sort it all and then macro-analyze the nation's preferences. It's pretty amazing, really, and we're the first company to make use of the tech.
Are you allowed to be telling me this?
What did you think we did here? I mean, really, it's all written in black and white. The Union Act, Mr. Miller. The country is about to vote it in.
Yeah, it is about immigration, isn't it?
Well, yeah, part of it, sure.
I don't understand. What makes an immigrant illegal?
You'd have to read the Union Act for yourself. I'm not a lawyer or a politician, Mr. Miller.
That's pretty fucked up.
It's not something I'm
What
happy
makes
getting
what
into.
makes an immigrant illegal? Whoa, well, I don't know. You'll have to look into it yourself. Do you agree what you do?
All legal. The Union Act is a contract.
It's not moral though.
If people want it, they vote for it. Other than that, I just do my job and try to keep my head down.
Present evidence. I don't think the people realise what they're voting for.
How so?
The public aren't protesting about information.
That's because they're focused on immigration. They really shouldn't be.
How are the two things linked?
I mean, we gather information on people in the system. If they're not a part of the system, if they don't have a national insurance number, there's nothing to gather. It's just common sense. You can't crunch the data if you can't gather it. But the act is so much bigger than that. You read the news and everyone thinks we're... The immigrant problem is just a small byproduct of the act. Processing data is what it's really all about.
Uh-huh.
And the Silhouette is how we do that. Trust the news to completely miss the point.
So anyone you can't spy on is illegal?
That's a very crude way of putting it. But that's the basic idea, sure.
How are you getting away with this?
We're not getting away with anything. We're doing our jobs.
Uh-huh.
Speaking for myself, I'm not here to school the mob outside on what I do for a living. I see them every day, screaming, shouting, hurling objects at my staff. They can't be reasoned with. They can't be made to understand because they've already made up their minds. And the newspapers haven't cottoned on either. It's not my fault. And it sure as hell is not my problem.
Wow. So you're fine with
I'm
this?
saying I'm not responsible.
Oh, that's such a
That's
shitty,
very different.
cowardly dodge.
Now, should we move on?
One more.
I'm not sure if that's a question or
You were scared. What
people are
of?
scared of things they don't understand. That's all. I
X-Men.
think the key thing to take from this is that if you want to make the country better, then you can't be frightened to offend a few minorities. It's the best way I can put it.
Bullshit.
What doesn't offend them?
What might offend them? Being locked up.
The most common thing I hear is that people are going to be kicked out of the country. Now, I can't help that from happening, so I try to avoid letting it affect my work. But I hear it over and over, like no one wants to admit the border control problem. Let me put it like this. You leave your window open in your house one summer's day and a whole bunch of flies come in. You try to remove them, but the flies are coming in faster than you can get them out. Do you want to keep trying to catch the flies, Mr. Miller? Or do you perhaps want to think about shutting the window?
Yeah, that definition is more than a little worrying, Mr. Crow. That makes you
I
sound
shouldn't
like a
have expected
racist.
you to understand, Mr. Miller.
Oh, fuck you, Mr. Crow.
Excuse me, Mr. Crow. I need to have a word with you.
Can it wait? Dan, I'm in the middle of something here.
I'm aware of that. That's what I want to talk to you about.
Right.
Yeah, after this, through the woods. We'll probably finish this tonight, because it's... After this, it's fairly simple and straightforward, isn't it? Bowman Building, Silhouette Server, pay on 1. I understand. Yes, I understand. Put it away.
Right. It's come to my attention that you may have been collecting sensitive information in that briefcase of yours. I'm gonna need you to hand them over, please. I'm gonna pass them along to Charles Bowman, and when or if you have your meeting, he can decide what he wants to do with them.
Steve, please take Mr. Miller's belongings over to Mr. Bowman's office.
Sorry about this.
Oh, and we'll also need that dossier of yours.
Yeah, piss off. Shouldn't take my dossier and things.
Right. Well, Mr. Miller, it seems as though
Racist.
this meeting is over. I'll look forward to hearing what Charles Bowman has to say about what you've been up to. Get him out of my sight.
Right, Mr. Miller. Let's go.
Oh,